I'm waiting, people. I want to record this lesson, so please can you settle down? Where is Junaid? Okay. Has anybody seen Mr. Jacobs? Want is hier? Lianay is nie hier nie, dit weet ek. Daar agter, wie kort daar? Niemand nie? Miss Fido, where were you yesterday? More important than school. Meneer?
Hallo mevrouw. Hallo julle. Jy moet ook teken is nie. Ek het vir 'n swart pen, het jy swart pen? Ja, jy moet net daar teken mevrou Trigard asseblief.
Maar hoekom moet ek teken?
Teken jy net daar kan nou vir jou verduidelik. Ons het die 8de Maart ons daai onthou jy daai veiligheidsvergadering. Dis maar nie daai natuurlijk. Dis nou teken. Ja. Nee, die mense wat op die komitee gesit wat in die vergadering is. Jy moet daar 'n familie of die boodskappies kry. Vir die lêer meneer Rampersand.
Maar dit dan min of meer op daar van by ons lêer. Ek sommer dit. Pas jy maar dit is hom.
Ja, maar as jy daar is, dan maak jy 'n kruisie. Ek wil nie kruisies hê.
Right, people, here we are. You need to listen to me, please. I ask you to do activity 6. Is ek reg? Jy moet aktiwiteit 6 gedoen. Is dit reg julle? Okay. Activity 6 has to do with the cash flow from investing activities. Jy weet mos, dit het te doen met jou vaste bates, fixed assets which we can come back, which we can buy new ones. When we buy a new one, it's an outflow. As jy nuwe koop, is dit mos 'n uitvloei. When you sell an old one, it is an inflow. As jy verkoop, is dit mos 'n invloei, is dit reg? And then financial asset increase outflow. Vermindering van jou finansiële bate is vir jou 'n invloei. Is jy reg? As jy net dit kan onthou, dan gaan jy alright wees. Colin, you need to pay attention. Right, here they give us information about fixed assets. Hulle sê vir ons, there's the depreciation, daar's die waardevermindering. Jy weet mos jy gaan there's no other easy way but doing the T account for fixed assets. Wat doen ek? I highlight everything that they tell me about fixed assets. Dan gaan maak ek 'n rekeningkie. Then I will do an account. Daar's my rekening. I must start with a balance at the start. Dit gaan ek kry in my staat van finansiële posisie. Is dit reg? I must have a balance at the end. That would be in my statement of financial position. Start is last year, end is this year, né? Begin is last jaar, einde is die jaar. Then whatever I bought, moet ek is dit die regte oefening? And I sold, en dan moet ek waarde verminder. This can be unknown. Hiervan kan iets onbekend wees. Ek gaan nou dit in 'n ander kleur maak. This can be an unknown, or that, or any of those three can be an unknown. Maar net een kan onbekend wees. Because there's no way for you to calculate if you have more than one unknown. Daar is nie 'n manier om dit te doen nie. So, normally we will tell you what depreciation is. So, dis vir jou gegee. Het ook vir jou gesê wat verkoop is. So, what is left, you need to figure out what is bought. En dis nie so moeilik nie. This side is complete, so ek het daai kant opgetel. You know that in accounting, in an account, the total of the account must be the same both sides. Dit was basiese beginsel wat jy al in graad 8 geleer het. If I know the total and I know what the balance is at the beginning, dan kan ek uitwerk wat het ek gekoop. Is there anyone who had a problem doing this? Okay, is julle alright daarmee? So from that account, I can see what was the outflow, dis die uitvloei. I can see what was the inflow, dis die invloei. Deur net daai rekeningkie, you are getting this March, June, September, November. Dit sal nou weer terugkom. Right, and then fixed deposit, wat het gebeur met die finansiële bate? It was 550 last year, it's 800 this year, dit het meer geraak. Whatever it increased with is an outflow. Hierdie is nie so moeilik nie, as jy net daai vaste bate rekeningkie kan doen. I've done my answer as well, daar's my antwoord. Fixed assets bought was an outflow, onthou ons het ons geld uitgegee. Wat ons verkoop het is vir ons 'n invloei and an increase in the fixed deposit would be an outflow. Alles binne in die blokkie tel jy op, answer at the top of the block. Dis mos hoe dit werk. Het julle net 6 gedoen of het julle 6 en 7 gedoen? 6 en 7. Nou kom ons gaan na nommer 7 toe ook. Number 7, same information. I again highlight, this is my store, my information about my assets. Fixed assets, want ek weet dit gaan vir my 'n bietjie moeiliker wees. I need to have an account. And remember, fixed assets can increase and decrease. Increase when we buy, decrease when we sell. Okay? Ek maak maar weer my rekeningkie. Ek het dit hier iewers gedoen. Daar is my rekeningkie. Balance at the start. Hulle het vir my nog, ekskuus, ek het vergeet om my inligting te highlight. Right. Investments, extract from the cash flow statement for the year. Hulle het vir ons gesê, ons het grond en geboue gekoop. Can you see that? Hulle het vir ons klaar gegee. And they also gave us what was the proceeds of the sale of fixed assets. Jy het dit gesien. Did you see that? Okay. So, ons gaan hier in. Balance at the start was supplied. Gekoop is vir ons gegee. Waardevermindering is vir ons gegee en balance is at the end. So wat moet jy gaan uitfigure it? You need to see what was sold this year. Do you understand that? Hoe gaan ek dit kry? I take whatever my balance, my total is, minus the depreciation, minus the balance at the end. Van dit was laas jaar verkoop. Did you see that 585 had to do with last year? Hoekom gee jy vir die inligting so? Because they want to tempt you to use that as asset sold for this year. Dis al hoekom hulle vir jou so gee. Do you understand that? As jy alright daarmee? Do not be fooled by smoke and mirrors and whatever they have in a question paper. Jy weet mos jy moet met hierdie jaar se inligting werk. Is jy okay with that? Mr. Susha, I see yours is wrong. What did you do wrong? You didn't do the sold calculation. You didn't do the calculation. Okay. Is you alright here? Are we fine? So you used 585. So and then how did you balance this account in the end? Because remember, whatever is the total on one side of the account must be a total on the other side. This was a basis beginsel. Are we okay with this? Is you alright here? Colin, do you understand what I've done here? This was a missing amount. Only reason why I can do a missing amount, take the total that I know is correct, minus the other two, then I will get my missing amount. Is julle alright daarmee? If you have 585,000 there, then there's no way that your two totals will be the same. Dan verstaan jy nie in rekeningkunde dat 'n rekening se debit totaal en sy krediet totaal moet dieselfde wees. That is an accounting principle. Any account, any ledger account, general ledger account will have a debit total and a credit total must be the same total. As dit nie dieselfde is, dan verstaan jy nie die beginsel van rekeninge nie. Are we okay with this? Wat het gebeur met die belegging? Investment. Again, we are interested. We go back. Belegging was 620, dis nou 530. It decreased, en as dit minder geraak het, dan is dit mos vir ons 'n invloei. Is dit reg daarmee? Do you understand this? Okay. Hier is my antwoord there. Purchase of fixed assets was supplied. Ek moes gaan uitwerk het, wat het ek gekry toe ek het verkoop het, dit sal nou weer terugkom. And then there was a decrease in investment, which is an inflow. Is julle okay hiermee? Are we fine? Is julle reg? Okay, so ons kan dit nou doen. The next thing I need to explain is what happens with financing activities. So ek gaan nou terug, ek het gou 7 is gedoen. Ek het gesê jy kan nommer 8 op jou eie doen. Ek gaan dit nie doen nie. I want to go to financing activities. Dis nou die volgende. Ek het vir jou geprint. I printed uit the answers hierso. Ek sal vir julle nou maar uitdeel. Dis alles ek het vir julle geprint. Ek sal nou uitdeel. Right. Now, Next thing is we need to know, the next part is we need to see what happened with financing activities. Financieringsaktiwiteite is te doen met aandele and loans. Financing is share capital and loans. Share capital can increase when you issue more shares, which I explained yesterday, en dit kan minder raak as jy die aandele terugkoop. When you issue shares, you receive money inflow. Do you understand that? Wanneer jy aandele uitreik, dan kry jy mos die geld. Stem julle daarmee saam? Dan is dit vir ons 'n invloei. When we buy back, then we are spending money to buy back the shares, then it will be an outflow. So uitreik van aandele is 'n invloei want ons ontvang geld. Terugkoop van aandele is 'n uitvloei want ons koop dan nou dit terug, dan gee ons geld uit. Is julle alright? A loan, if the loan increases, we receive money inflow. If the loan decreases, we pay the loan outflow. So financieringsaktiwiteite is net te doen met aandelekapitaal en met lenings. Share capital, if it increased, then it means that we issued more shares en dan is dit vir ons 'n invloei. When we buy back shares, it's an outflow want ons betaal as ons. You cannot buy back shares and then you tell that shareholder, sorry, I'm taking this, I'm not paying you. Ek gaan jou tronk toe vat. Het julle gehoor mense? Loan increase, receive the money, inflow. Lening verminder, betaal die lening, uitvloei. Is julle alright daarmee? Right, now let's have a look at the information. Hier staan nou vir jou in hierdie oefeningkie, in die voorbeeld oefeningkie, staan daar gewone aandelekapitaal was laas jaar dit, is hierdie jaar dat. Then there's a note. So you need to read what's written in the note. Hulle sê hier vir jou, gedurende die jaar is daar 10,000 aandele uitgereik teen 250 sent per aandeel. 250 cent is R2.50. Please do not calculate 10,000 times 250, dan dink jy dis die regte antwoord nie. 250 cent is R2.50. En ons het aandele teruggekoop teen 500 cent per aandeel. So in this example, what will my inflow for share capital be? 10,000 times R2.50. Wat gaan my uitvloei wees vir die aandele wat ek terugkoop? 3,000 vermenigvuldig met R5. Is julle by daarmee? Straightforward. What happened to the loan? Increased. As dit meer raak, dan gaan ons lening, dan kry ons mos geld in. The more part will be an inflow. So kom ons kyk, ons het sommer nou mondelings gedoen. The proceeds of the shares issued, it's 10,000 shares at R2.50 gives me 25,000. That's an inflow. Stem julle saam daarmee? Are we fine with that? Is julle reg? Are we fine? Then shares bought back, 3,000 aandele teen R5 elk, 15,000 outflow. Want as jy terugkoop, moet jy betaal. They're not telling you steal the shares, you are buying it back. If you buy, you are spending money. Is julle alright hiermee? Are we fine? And then what happened to the loan? Die lening het verander, dit het meer geraak met 10,000. The only way the loan can increase is we receive the money. Jy kan nie vir my sê, die lening raak meer en dan gee jy nie vir my die geld nie. If I borrow more money, I want that more money. That will be an inflow for the company. Do you understand that? Is julle alright daarmee? Hoe lyk die stukkie in die kontantvloei staat, in the cash flow statement? I said it has to do with share capital and loans. Ek het dit weer geskryf want ek wil hê jy moet seker maak dat jy dit weet. If the share capital increase, it's an inflow and you will see in the cash flow statement the wording is proceeds of shares issued. Die woorde sê, wat is Afrikaans? Koop in binne in die kontantvloei staat. Wat is Afrikaans? Opbrengs van, ekskuus tog, ek kon dit nie mooi. Dis in Afrikaans is dit opbrengs van aandele uitgereik. Opbrengs van aandele uitgereik. Dis die Afrikaans. And proceeds of shares bought back. Opbrengs Aandele teruggekoop. Is julle by daarmee? Are we fine? Kyk, so ons het nou gesien die aandele wat ons uitgereik het vir ons 25,000 ingebring. Remember when you issue, you receive the money. No company issues shares and say, sorry, take the shares and I will pay you some money as well. Geen maatskappy is so desperaat nie. Then shares repurchased or bought back, aandele teruggekoop, is nou die 15,000 rand. Dit is vir ons 'n uitvloei because you are buying, spending money. And there was an increase in loan as 'n lening vermeerder, dan kry ons die geld. Everything inside the block must be added on at the top of the block. Is julle by? Are we fine with that? Is julle okay hiermee? Okay. Jy kan self nou nommer oefen. Ek het dit vir jou geprint ook. Activity, ek sal aktiwiteit 9 het ek gedink sal ek vir jou doen. Activity 9 I will do. Saam met jou en dan gaan jy aktiwiteit 10 en 11 moet doen. Kom ons kyk gou na die inligting. Let's have a look at activity 9. Kom ons kyk na aktiwiteit 9. Activity 9. Hierso gee hulle vir ons weer, remember, financing activity has to do with share capital and loans. So I must give you information regarding share capital and loans. Ek kan nie verwag jy moet iets doen en ek gee nie vir jou die inligting nie. So here they tell you, ordinary share capital last year was that amount, hierdie jaar is dit die bedrag. En daar was, hulle sê vir jou die gemiddelde prys op die 1 Maart 2020 is R5. And there's a loan. Dan gee hulle vir my enige ander inligting. Ja, kyk mooi hierso, jy moet nou hier lees. Additional shares were issued halfway through the year on the 31st of August 2020. Hierdie aandele gaan nie vir tussentydse dividende kwalifiseer nie. This means if there's nothing, that means this is the missing figure. Kan jy sien? Hulle sê nie vir jou hoeveel aandele. Can you see? No, hulle sê vir jou daar's aandele uitgereik, but they do not tell you how many. Hulle sê nie vir jou hoeveel nie. So obviously you need to figure out how many shares were issued out and what was the amount you received. Is julle by daarmee? Hulle sê vir jou aandele is uitgereik, but they don't tell you how much, how many shares and what you got for that. So dit gaan mos vir jou 'n probleem wees op die ou end. Then they tell you the directors bought back 35,000 shares on 28 February for R6.50 per share, which was 20 cents above the average issue price. These shares do not qualify for the final dividends. Nou kyk wat het ek hier geskryf. Wanneer die maatskappy aandele terugkoop, dan gaan die terugkoopprys, né? Kan nie in jou hier staan nie, can't be here. Dit moet hier staan as die wat? Gemiddelde uitreikingsprys. Is julle by daarmee? Okay, now what do I have? Again, I am looking for what was issued. Ek is mal oor 'n rekening. I know I started this year share capital with R1,050,000. Ek weet aandele kapitaal aan die einde van die jaar was 2,35 whatever miljoen rand. Ons het teruggekoop vir 35,000 teen 30 sent meer as die gemiddelde uitreikingsprys. More than the 30 cents more than the average, 20 cents more. So R6.50 is what we paid. That was 20 cents more than the average issue price. So Tatum, what is the average issue price? 6.30. Is julle by daarmee, het julle dit gesien? So the shares that we bought back, gaan mos my aandele kapitaal verminder. 35,000 times R6.30 will tell me what was the average issue price of the shares we bought back. In this account, it's always average issue price. It's altyd mos gemiddelde uitreikingsprys. Is julle by daarmee? If I have those two amounts, then I can get this. Dit gaan vir my sê hoeveel geld het ek gekry. Is julle by hiermee? Okay. Because what can happen to shares? Issue and buyback. Issue at the normal issue price, buyback at the average issue price. Is julle by daarmee? En hulle gee vir jou die gemiddelde uitreikingsprys. They just told you it was bought back for R6.50 a share, 20% less than the normal issue price, the average issue price. So hoeveel jy daarvoor betaal? Toe jy het oorspronklik verkoop het jy R6.30 'n aandeel gekry. That will come from the retained income account, yes. Is julle by hiermee? Do you understand this? Is julle alright? So, by doing this account, onthou ek vrek oor 'n rekening, so ek werk graag met 'n rekening. For me, it makes sense. I know that in a share capital account, it must have a credit balance at the start. If I buy new ones, it's going to be added on the credit side. As ek terugkoop, gaan ek dit aftrek aan die debietkant, and then my balance at the end will be on the debit side because it will be brought down on the credit side at the start of next. Onthou jy, dis mos hoe dit werk. This is balance brought down. And carried down becomes brought down. Carried down, excuse toch? Brought down will be on this side. Dis eintlik mos hoe dit werk. Onthou julle? Is julle by? Are we fine? So by doing this account, there's nothing they can ask me that I can't do. So as ek nou terug gaan, ek moet mos in my antwoord gaan skryf. Proceeds of the share issued, was mos nou, ek het dit mos nou uitgewerk, I've done the calculation. Is julle reg daarmee? Shares bought back, 35,000 at R6.50 a share. Remember, they told us we are paying R6.50 a share. Die R6.30 was die gemiddelde uitreikingsprys. Wat betaal ons? R6.50. Is julle by? Are we fine? Then what happened to the loan, die lening? Kom ons kyk wat met die lening gebeur. It was 1.5 something million. There's now 300,000. So this company paid its loan. Kan julle sien? Okay. And if the loan is paid, as die lening betaal is, then that would be decrease in loan. Ek wil gou jy moet iets kyk. By the way, where do you think the company got the money from to pay that loan? Waar dink jy die maatskappy daai geld vandaan gekry? What did the company do this? What did the company do during this year with the share capital? Hy het 'n lot uitgereik. Het jy gesien die company? So for 1.5 million, het jy gesien? Don't you think the company would have used that money to pay the loan? Because remember, the company, the money the company receives for issuing shares is the company's money. Hy hoef nie dit terug te betaal nie unless a shareholder wants to sell his shares and the company wants to buy it back. Maar as die maatskappy nie daai aandeel bekoop, kan iemand anders dit mos koop as jy daarbey. So for this company, it was a financially wise move. Issue more shares, take the money that we receive, kom ons betaal die lening because a loan you need to pay interest on a loan. Is jy by? So, and if the interest is no longer there, dan raak die wins mos meer. Do you understand that? And then all the shareholders is going to share in a bigger profit. And the company can also keep more profit for itself. So dit was 'n baie wise move van hierdie maatskappy to decide, let's just issue more shares. In that way, we are going to pay our loan. The money we receive from the shareholders, we don't need the refund. Ons hoef nie dit terug te gee nie. That means we are spending that money with shareholders' money. We are spending on paying the loan, which means that we don't need to pay interest on the loan anymore. Daar's nie meer rente, so baie rente nie. Dit gaan 'n positiewe effek hê op ons wins, and then the shareholders are going to be happy. Look here what happened this year. We're going to get more dividends, want ons het baie minder uitgawes. Is jy daarbey daarmee? Are we fine with this? Jy kan nommer 11 self doen.
Lyk net as daar shares is.
As daar shares is om, ja, dit. Where are we now? $35,000 times R6.50 because that's what you really paid for the shares. Remember, what is the money that you spend when you bought back the shares? R6.50 per share. Are you fine?
So in the account it's just...
In the accounts, it will be, in ordinary share capital will be the average issue price and the extra bit will be in the retained income. Is that okay? but this is not the, we're not using, we are busy seeing what money did we spend when we bought back the shares. We bought back at R6.50 per share. Are you fine? Are we done? Can I carry on? Okay. Right, so jy gaan nommer 11 self doen. Ek het dit vir jou sommer, ek het dit al klaar gedoen. Jy gaan nommer 12 ook self doen. Ek het nommer 10 gedoen. Ek het geoefen. Ek het nommer 10 en nommer 11 en nommer 12 het ek sommer vir julle gedoen. 10, 11 en 12. Jy kan dit gaan doen vir huiswerk, dan kan jy mos hierdie dit kyk. Want ek gaan dit in die klas kan merk woensdag nie. That is why I won't have time to mark this in class. Dis hoekom ek dit gedoen het, jy moet dit self doen. Ek het net die memos, ek het die verduideliking alles daar aangesit. Right, nou gaan kyk ons na die volgende berekening. Die storie oor kontant, about cash. Change in cash and cash equivalents. Dis waar jy nou moet gaan kyk. Kyk gou, ek weet jy het 'n bladsy, dit is nie jou boek nie, maar kyk maar daar. Op bladsy 30, okay. Okay. I want you to have a look at this. For us to be able to see what is the change in the cash position, I need to tell you what cash and cash equivalents are. En as daar 'n oortrokke bankrekening is, moet ek dit ook vir jou sê. Is jy by hiermee? Because inside our statement moet ons die volgende hê. We need to know, ek gaan sommer net hierso kyk, ek wil gou vir jou wys wat moet jy hê. Ek weet hierdie gou, just give me a moment, ek het nou vergeet om dit daarbo te gaan sit. What the last part of the statement, die laaste gedeelte van hierdie staat, is this part. Ek gaan nie dra weghaal. Right. This net change in cash equivalents is die 3 totaaltjies wat jy opgetel het, né? This amount you calculate using whatever is on top of the 3 blocks. Is julle by daarmee? In the cash flow statement, the first one is cash generated from operations, that block. Then investing activities en dan finansieringsaktiwiteite. Dit wat bo op die blokkie staan, gaan jy optel, jy gaan dit daar inskryf. Is julle alright daarmee? Right. Cash and cash equivalents at the beginning of the year moet ek vir jou gee. Beginning of this year is the end of last year. Is dit? Where am I? Page 30. You're not listening. Page 30. Do you have it? Do you have this now? Okay, is julle alright? Is julle reg? Laas jaar het hierdie onderneming R30,000 gehad. So I will have this for last year. At the beginning of this year, there was 30,000. Do you understand that? Ek moet dit gee. Is julle alright daarmee? Okay? Then, what happened at the end of this year? Nou moet ons gaan kyk. Kom ons kyk na hierso. There is cash of R2,000 and an overdraft of 36,000. So hoeveel kontant is regtig aan die einde van die jaar hierso? Are there any cash? Is daar enige kontant? There's R2,000 cash, I suppose that's in the cash float, en daar's 'n oortrokke rekening van 36,000. Is daar kontant hierso? No. So if there's not cash, it means there must be an overdraft. Is dit reg? What is the overdraft amount? 36 and the 2,000 cash that we have. So what is our total overdraft amount? 34. Is julle by hiermee? Verstaan julle dit? Okay. Ek gaan die 34 hier inskryf. Nou, as jy dit gedoen het, then you should be able to calculate that amount. Ek wil net vir my mooi luister. At the beginning of this year, there was R30,000. Luister mooi wat ek sê. At the end of this year, there's a minus 34. Hoeveel kontant het jy hierdie jaar uitgegee? You had to spend the 30,000, is that true? 64, excellent. Sê, dan kan jy dit eintlik gaan uitwerk. This business actually spent in total 64,000. Hoe weet ek dit? That 30,000 is gone and they owe 34,000 to the bank. So that means they spend an extra 34 as well. Is julle by daarmee? Are we fine? Do you understand this, people? They tend to ask this little bit of the cash flow statement quite often as a separate question. Hulle gee nie, because they never let you do the whole cash flow statement. Daar's te veel bedragies wat jy moet bereken. So they ask bits and pieces. But this specific part that they've asked the past 3 years. Cash and cash equivalents. Want hulle gee vir jou hierdie inligting and then you need to figure out what happened with the cash during this year. Is julle by daarmee? So at the start of this year, there was 30,000 rand in the bank. At the end of the year, there was 2,000 in the cash float and 36 overdraft. So that 34,000 is how much money we owe to the bank. Do you understand that? Hoeveel geld het ons uitgegee die jaar? Daai 30,000 rand, want dit is nie meer daar nie, plus 'n extra 34 want ons skuld die bank geld. So we spent in total 64,000. And that would be a minus amount. Do you understand? And remember in accounting, the rule is whenever you add up from the bottom up, this amount, the 34 and that 30 is going to become 64. Is julle by daarmee mense? Is julle alright? Okay. Jy moet self dan nou, ons gaan nou in class we're going to do number 1 on your own quickly. Doen jy? Yeah. Right. Ek het nie nommer 12 en 13 gedoen nie. I want you to do another exercise for homework. Ek vra nou mooi. Jy moet vir my net vraag 1 doen. Just question 1. Only question 1 is homework. Hier is die ander oefeninge sit dit daar voor nie. This is the answers. You must do number. I've done activity. Yes. And you have to do, I will put on the group, I will put the answers for 13 and 14, 15 is there already. Jy moet 13 en 14 doen, 15 is die bladsy en dan moet jy vraag 1 doen asseblief. You have to do question 1. Wednesday and Thursday we have to worry about analysis of statements. Dit is so moeilik, nee. Waar is die papiere nou? Afhoor. Are you following, guys? Not so difficult.
Understand it. And actually practice it.
Ja, jy moet nou oefen, my kind. Dis baie waar. Jy moet nou oefen.